I'm dying. It's a fact. There's no need for a doctor to tell me. That farewell performance was something I insisted on doing. I don't want to disappear silently. I have to say goodbye in person.
Happy birthday, dear Minnie. Happy birthday to you.
Ready? Blow out the candle. Blow. 3.
Good morning.
Was that me?
Jagger. Say good morning.
Good morning.
Ozzy Osbourne knew his time was running out, and he didn't hide from it. "I'm dying. It's a fact," he said in one of his last interviews. After years of battling Parkinson's and injuries from a bad fall, he faced the truth head on. But instead of feeling sorry for himself, Ozzy made peace with it. He wanted to spend his last days doing what mattered, being with his family, thanking his fans, and going out on his own terms. He didn't want a quiet goodbye. And what he planned next, no one saw it coming. Ozzy had one last wish, a final concert to say goodbye. He called it Back to the Beginning and held it in Birmingham, the city where it all started. Thousands of fans showed up, some of them following his music since the 1970s. Even though he was weak, Ozzy gave everything he had. He sang Crazy Train, Mama, I'm Coming Home, and other songs that made him a legend. People in the crowd cried. Some couldn't believe this was really goodbye. At the end of the show, Ozzy looked out at his fans and said, "Thank you from the bottom of my heart."
I don't know what to say, man. I've been laid up for like fucking 6 years. And it's so, you've got no idea how I feel. Man. Thank you from the bottom of my heart.
It wasn't just a concert, it was a farewell full of love, pain, and deep emotion. But what he did with the money from that night shocked everyone. Ozzy didn't keep a single penny from his final concert. All $190 million went to causes he cared about. He gave to Birmingham Children's Hospital, helped fund research for Parkinson's disease, and supported a hospice for children. But that wasn't all. Ozzy also sold his own paintings, art he had made during his quiet moments at home. That money went to help save chimpanzees, showing how much he cared about animals too. For a man known for wild behavior on stage, this side of Ozzy surprised many people. In the end, he didn't just want to be remembered as a rock star. He wanted to make a difference. And while the world saw a legend, Ozzy was focused on something much more personal, his family. In his final months, Ozzy wanted one thing more than anything: time with his family. He stayed close to his wife Sharon, their 6 children, and 10 grandchildren. He didn't want big parties or public attention. He wanted movie nights, stories, and laughter at home. He was especially close to Kelly and Jack, his 2 younger kids. He called them his best mates, not just his children. They talked, joked, and looked back on the wild journey they shared. One of Ozzy's happiest moments was seeing Kelly get engaged. It happened right after his final concert backstage at Villa Park. Ozzy was overjoyed. He hugged her and her fiancé, saying, "I couldn't be happier for her." He knew he wouldn't live to walk her down the aisle, but that memory meant the world to him. Still, the person who never left his side, not even for a second, was Sharon. Ozzy and Sharon had been through everything: fame, scandals, fights, and years of addiction. Their relationship wasn't perfect, but it was real. They got married in 1982 and stayed together through all the highs and lows. In the end, Sharon was Ozzy's rock. When his health got worse, she was always there. She saw how much pain he was in and gave him strength to keep going. Sharon always gave me a reason to wake up, Ozzy once said. Even when he felt like giving up, she reminded him of who he was. They had been through too much to fall apart now. Ozzy called her his soulmate. "I love her more than anything in the world," he told friends. But family wasn't the only thing that brought him peace. There was one more goodbye Ozzy had to make. To the world, Ozzy was the Prince of Darkness, the wild rocker who once bit the head off a bat. But at home, he was someone very very different. He loved animals, especially the many cats and dogs he and Sharon rescued. His favorite was a dog named Rocky, who followed him everywhere. When Rocky passed away in 2024, Ozzy was heartbroken. Friends said it was one of the hardest losses he faced. He also reconnected with his old bandmates from Black Sabbath. They talked about the early days, small clubs, wild tours, and how they created the sound that changed music forever. For Ozzy, these moments weren't just about music. They were about healing old friendships and saying goodbye. Even in his final days, Ozzy found peace in simple things: family, animals, memories, and music. But what people remembered most about him was the way he lived without ever pretending to be someone else. Ozzy was wild, loud, and often out of control, but he was also kind, loyal, and full of love. He lived a life of chaos, but he always stayed true to who he was. His kids said he was a soft-hearted dad who cared more about their happiness than anything else. Friends said that behind the crazy image was a gentleman with a big heart. His career was full of ups and downs, fame, addiction, health problems, and big comebacks. But through it all, Ozzy kept going. He changed his music, learned from his mistakes, and never gave up. He inspired millions, not just with his songs, but with his strength. Ozzy didn't pretend to be perfect. He showed the world that it's okay to be broken and still keep fighting. Ozzy Osbourne was more than a rock star. He was a fighter, a father, a husband, and a man who never gave up, no matter how hard life got. He made mistakes, but he always tried to do better. In his final days, he showed the world what really mattered: love, family, and being true to yourself. He passed away surrounded by the people who loved him most. But his story didn't end there. His music, his energy, and his honesty will live on forever. Ozzy proved that even in the face of death, there's still time to give back, to heal, and to say thank you. He may be gone, but his legacy will never fade. Rest in peace, Ozzy. The world will never forget you.